Kia ora, I'm Melissa from Room 2, Melissa Daly from Room 2. Our children have started learning about why care for the environment. We've had a lot of small activities just to develop their interest in the topic and get them a little bit excited about what we're about to learn. The first thing we did was put on our green thinking hat, looking at new ideas, which is here, and we also put on our white hat to share the information that we already knew. So the question that we posed was, what is an environment? A lot of the children said they weren't sure. We had some other ideas. One child said that it was math and writing. Another was saying that it was the environment, the school, looking after the school, the whole earth, that there were different environments, and one also looked at the actual school area. From there we had a little view of a video clip, and it looked at what an environment is, and the children then went back with their green hats, their new ideas, and shared their new learning. So they found out that an environment, or one form or a few forms of an environment, deserts, mountains, oceans, the forest or the rainforest. And we went from here into how can we, or how do we look after our environment. The children actually shared some of their ideas after a bit of class discussion. They looked at picking up their rubbish, obviously things like bottles and cans and the likes of that. And then they said why do they need to look after their environment. So the children again came up with their ideas and shared it with the class. So one of the basic things they said was so that we don't stand on glass, and so that rubbish won't blow away and end up in the water or the ocean. We shared many other ideas. So Cynthia said to look after her plants. Why? Well, we need plants to breathe and to make oxygen for us, so there was that good connection to future studies. Again, another child said the ocean, to clean up the rubbish, look after our beaches, and to also stop plastic and things like petrol or oil getting into the ocean. From there again we went back to why. Why is this important? Why do we need to stop this? And the kids came up with rubbish could be swallowed by animals and die. Plastic will stop you breathing. Oil and petrol kill sea animals. So again, their knowledge has already grown through the questioning and the class discussions that we've had. They're bouncing ideas off each other, which is really rich. They also made connections to natural disasters that we've had in relation to oil spills. So we looked at birds being covered in oil, what happened as a result of that, the cause and the effect, how the oil reacts to the water, that it floats on the surface and sticks to things. From there we went on to in what ways people are damaging our forests. So I'm trying to get a little connection into our future study for the kauri dieback. They started with letting oil get into the stream water, and they started making a little connection to how there is a roll-on effect to what we do that impacts on our environment. So they said, well, oil gets into the water, oil goes down the drains, ends up in our water that we drink, kills the animals and the plants. And one of the boys said, hey, we'd starve. And I said, why is that? Plants can't grow. So they've made that big growth of knowledge and understanding already. We've had another one here that people cut down trees and damage them. The roll-on effect is that birds, monkeys, trees, whole variety of animals lose their homes. We moved on to beavers, won't have anything to eat. From there, they can't make their homes. So there's all these connections being made to our big focus of why care for the environment. From there, the children actually went through and they looked at living and non-living items. They went around the school grounds, picked up rubbish and natural living products, and then we separated them into the different categories and discussed why they are living and what makes them non-living. So you can see the discussions that we've had there. We then went through last week and discussed, we shared our white hat information, what have they learnt in 3 days, and you can see the growth already. So something new that I've learnt, if we leave rubbish lying around it can end up in the ocean and it carries on. From here, so yesterday we actually looked at empathy shoes, so I'm trying to get the children to start thinking about the feelings of someone else. and in the future start asking questions or explain how they feel and why they feel that way. So we looked at a little boy and the ant bully, and in that movie the child was actually being bullied, so we had a discussion about what was happening to him, and the children shared their ideas. How do you think that feels? And they actually came up with some really cool words here: angry, sad, annoyed and disgusted. And then they shared their ideas about why he felt that way. So they're definitely making that connection to the learning intention. Again, later on, as we continue viewing a little snippet of the movie, it said the ants were saying, oh no, the destroyer. So we had this big discussion about why is the child called the destroyer. And so we had another big discussion about that and how those ants are feeling in that time. From here today, we actually moved on to sitting under the kauri tree. And we're using our observation skills just to have a look at what we can see in front of us. The children looked at the leaves and see they were hard, they were sort of an oval shape, and carried on with other ideas and observations that they've made. They noticed that on the tree trunk there was a goo, so we're going to grow on that next time. We also looked at what a tree would need to stay alive, and why do trees have roots. Then today, this afternoon, we looked at cause and effect. So we've had lots of different surface level learning activities or experiences just to launch their excitement and the interest in the topic that we're going to pursue. You can see here we looked at the rubbish and how it impacts on the environment. So the cause being us and the roll-on effect from us being lazy as humans. From here we're going to focus on the kauri dieback, the spread of the disease, and we will be having a trip to the Arataki centre up in the Waitakere Ranges, and we will actually have a little activity next week where they'll be looking at how the disease is spread. So lots of fun things to come. Please keep following our webpage. Cool, and blog. Thank you.